All right, this is a video about what is it like living with an with an ICD defibrillator pacemaker. And I'm leaving my doctor's appointment now. I got good news today. I'm so excited that my vitals are stable, which is amazing. But what is it like living with ICD? So initially when I for the hardest part was making it, well, I was always gonna make the decision to have it implanted because they said you don't got no choice. This is what you're looking at. And when they told me what it would be like if I didn't get it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. So what is it like? So when I initially made the decision to get it, I think I had a heart monitor on that whole month of May, and this would have been last year. So for 2020, no, it would have been 2024. For 2024, from May 2024 to probably June, July, I wore a heart monitor in which I experienced several heart palpitations. That was concerning, and that's whenever the cardio technical team stepped in and was like, hey, this is what your choices are. And so from that June, July, I was just nervous because I didn't know anything about it. I had 2 months to really mentally prepare. And so then August 4th hit, I checked into the hospital, into the technical side of the cardiology department. They said, do you want I was going to be awake when they implanted it? I said, I absolutely did not want to be awake when they implanted it. I had already been through several surgeries. My body, to me, wasn't necessarily the weakest, but I didn't want to smell that skin being open. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to see it. Even if they didn't use a laser, I didn't want to see a knife. I didn't want nothing to do with the process. So I was like, put me under. And since I requested that, I want to say he was going to give me local anesthetic, but he ended up having to go get, I guess, a nurse anesthetist too. Like, I guess the order was maybe I wasn't going to go to sleep. But since I said put me under, it was a change of plans, which is, they were ready for that. They put me under, which I'm glad they did. I can't even imagine being woke through that, bro. Because when I woke up, I felt like somebody shot me in my chest. My little arm was all crumbled up, bro. I felt like a chicken wing. Ooh. And I looked down and saw like it was all like patched up. Like they had done gauze it up and stuff. How was I gonna be woke through that? Anyway, now because I'm going through the process in my brain. And so my mama then was there. And so they had been to my other surgery. So at this point, they kind of was hip to the game. So they saw I was like, yeah, woo, she woo, hey, okay, we gone. Because I didn't realize at the time, I said, well, that was very impersonal. But I didn't realize at the time that my surgery my procedure, I don't know why I keep calling it surgery, must have ran late because I thought it was still morning because I think I went in at like 8 to 9 in the morning, I think. And I think it was 8, 9 o'clock at night. I felt so bad for them. So that made sense to me. That they was like, woo, yeah, woo, you're hurting and woo, we out. We was like, we go. So I checked, like, then they wheeled me back to observation. And when I was back in observation, I guess I got there back because they're doing processing. But at that point, I'm fading in and out of consciousness. They say that I'm back. I don't agree with that. I just take my time with all that. So I'm fading in and out of consciousness for real. And I'm trying to remember. I think they asked me, do I want to take something? But at this point, I'm still in and out the propofol, whatever they gave me. And so they let me sleep because I guess at that point, they're processing me into observation. I go to the observation ward. Inside of observation was this huge room of individual beds. It had to be 20, 25 beds for sure, probably more. And you go back to observation, and then at that point, the night shifts we were getting to transition out. So I guess the 12 o'clock a.m. person was coming on staff. So I got 2 hours of sleep, and I was excited about that. And then the new nurse came on, baby. It was on and popping. And from there, it was test after test after test when I got it. I didn't get any sleep. I didn't get no food. And when I finally was able to get my food, they wheeled me away from my plate. I didn't even get to eat it. Because I had to do more testing, and then I, eventually came home. So when I ended up having to stay an extra night because I think I got a fever or something. Can't remember. Seems like I was on antibiotics. seems like I was on the antibiotic liquid IV. So anyway, I went home, and I initially was going to stay with my mom for a night. But because they're more live, her home is more lively, so they were up and about. I couldn't rest. I didn't get any sleep in the hospital. I just said, just take me home. And that was kind of dangerous when I think about it, because something could have happened, but I just wanted some straight sleep. And I had my doggy with me. I just went ahead and took my doggy home with me. I don't even know why I took her with me. Oh, because she was screaming or something. Went home, had to figure out new ways to sleep. It was the most painful. That's really what started my recent Christ journey, because that's when I knew Lord must have touched down. When I tell you the amount of pain, and then what's so crazy, it wasn't my chest. It was my arm. It was my left arm. It felt like my arm was broke. In fact, I had to wear a sling for a week or two. I remember being in a sling. I remember barely anything about that healing process because it was so painful. But for some reason, I would have had to be getting in and out of bed to take my dog outside to use the bathroom and to feed her. But I do remember that, and that's when I realized that your pet can realize that you're sick, because her way of I think her way was, when I was sleeping, she would position her body in a way that every couple hours to make me roll over. And I didn't notice that she does that until I recently had the flu. And when I was fighting a fever, I noticed that she positioned her body, whether it be to nudge me, to roll over. And then she would do it every 2 hours, like roll over. And I was like, I wonder how she knew. And it was different than when she's getting me to tell me she's hungry. Because when she's doing that, she lets me know, like, wake up this time. But with that, it was just enough not to interrupt my sleep, but also enough for me to do something. It was strange. So anyway, I healed from that, but it took a while. So some people say that they can do it in a couple days. I'm so glad I requested 2 weeks, because even when I returned back to work, I think I didn't return back to work for 4 weeks or so. I was still kind of bleeding through them stitches. And that thing, because you have a lot of swelling, like, around it, it was still very much swollen. So to the point where it was difficult wearing my seatbelt and stuff. So there was a huge learning curve. If I got it implanted that August, I wasn't back to normal till about November, December. And even that, I don't even sleep the same to this day. Because that thing is right here. Anyway, so what is it like on a day-to-day basis? Honestly, it's good days and not bad. I've not had a bad day. A good day is I forget I'm a heart patient. I forget that this process ever happened. I forget. I just have a normal day. A day that's not so good is when I'm doing something I feel like, when I get to feeling so normal that I do something and I cause swelling to the area. So maybe, like for instance, I needed to get out of my driveway to go get my medicine. And it's been snowed. I've been snowed in. And so I said, I got to go out there and dig my stuff out. My sister said she was coming, but she ended up getting called into work. She couldn't come until later that evening. And I had to get out to get my medicine. And so I said, let me go out here and dig myself out. And I said, I'll just do it very slow. And I had complete I had slight swelling in the area. I shouldn't even been digging myself out. I regret it. It was like sore in that area. It was too cold for me to be out there. So for the most part, don't notice much until I do things that cause it to be moving around. So like, I try not to do a whole lot of lift. Like, I don't do any lifting above my head. And even me doing that, I can feel my leads. So there's leads that run from the machine, from your chest into your heart cavity. So I can feel it. Like, especially when I've been doing things I know better. So I'm constantly conscious of what I do as a way to combat that. Some of the things, because one of the things that it does is because I'm not reaching a lot, I get cramped up in there. So my arms and stuff, I be wanting to stretch my arms and things. So one of the things I purchased was a pull-up bar, so I can just hang from it. I'm not doing pull-ups off of it. I just want to hang from it, static, like no impact, and that helps a lot relieve that cramping and pressure that sometimes just comes from it just being jammed up in there. I'm trying to think of what else. I sleep different. I don't sleep on my stomach and stuff. I don't like sleeping on that area. And sometimes if I shift too quickly or something, then it scares me a little bit, because then I remember I have it, because I might go a week or so and forget I got it in there, and then I'll shift in the bed and I'll see it puff up. And I'll be like, oh my gosh. Other than that, some differences is like when I go through like the metal detectors, I can't go through them. So I have to tell a guard or somebody, and sometimes it causes, frustration, because I have to be adamant about not going in the machine, and the guards sometimes are very come through, and I have to say, oh no, I can't. So that I have to indicate to like TSA. I haven't flown since this happened, so I'll see soon what that process is like. What other things? I have to make sure I have tight sports bras on when I work out, because now I can feel it's like if I were to work out with my keys in my bra. So if that makes sense. So I make sure it's extra tight so I don't feel it. Other than that, it's not much. It's just in there. It feels. Now I know it's in there. Like some days I don't pay attention. It's not as blatant, but some days it do feel like something is stapled. Like I got something stapled in my chest. Like it just feel like I got a staple in my chest. A staple in my chest. Other than that, it's just been a learning curve. It's like with anything. I guess it's like if you had a rod in your leg, or yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have questions, leave them below. But yeah, it's been a pretty cool process. Also, I can transmit or ask for transmission. So if I have heart palpitations or something seems off, I can hit the button, because it's not app. I don't have a phone where I can use the app. I have a Droid, and you have to have an Apple product to be able to access your heart rhythms on your phone. But I have a transmission machine by my bed, so I can request certain transmission points. So if my heart's been skipping, I can hit the button, and then it'll send a signal to the the technical cardio team. Then I can email my doctor and say, hey, is my rhythms off? And they can let you know. And that comes in very handy when I work out. Just an added reassurance, so I can hit the button and go work out. And if I have some issues, I can call them and see. It's just an added sense of reassurance. But other than that, it's just a learning curve. After that, you just adapt to it. You have to set boundaries, though. I have had to set boundaries with people. Like, I can't be lifting. I refuse to lift stuff because I can feel them leads. And second, I don't know if it's going to cause swelling, or if it's going to cause, because it's in my chest, that whatever muscle and stuff that is, it's a little bit not necessarily sensitive. But for me to go out and lift a 50 pound only, I know the next day, like, it'll swell. So I'm a powder princess of solid living over here. I'm not doing it. So, and plus I can feel my leads, and I ain't nobody trying to throw their leads out or something. You done lifted something and your leads shift, or either your defibrillator go off and you be electrocuted from the inside out. No. I don't know why I'm even thinking about this. No, the answer is no. I'm not doing it. Anyway. All right. That's it.